At that time, there were 2 women in a family, both of whom, in turn, devoted themselves to their husbands who were soldiers. 2 men left one after another, but only one returned. That brave warrior returned to the village with the sound of the front and back, wearing the king and number 39's hat and bringing glory to his family. But when welcoming her husband, the second woman cried silently, "Weigh the belt, the hat, the benefits the king bestows. Everything is beautiful, but my hair," and his hair suddenly turned the color of dew. So, when the third woman was born and cried, both her grandmother, father and mother clasped their hands. "Dear Buddha." Another mistake. But this time, we won, and number 39's marry him to any soldier. For 2 lifetimes, we and number 39's, they waited until our hair turns gray, ISN and #39. That enough? She grew up as rosebud trees and grass. From childhood until adulthood, her family did not allow her to talk to any soldiers so that she would keep her old curse. One morning, in the distance, the sound of a 5-string drum could be heard. The girl walked out into the garden, to the dew-soaked hedge. The boy next door is hastily packing his bags and leaving. Originally a young couple who used to play together, they looked at each other and then bowed their faces, the dark hair on the boy and number 39's lips shaking slightly. The sound of drums is urgent. The young man ventured, "So. Wait. Why Don and number 39's you ask if the rose hips bloom before the sun comes up?" The girl bit her lip, tears rolling down her cheeks. And so the boy and number 39's face turned red to the roots of his hair. Feeling lightheaded as if he had just gained wings, he said to his stomach, "And quat. I can leave, even though my body is covered by horse skin and quat." The girl came back in, her eyes watery and listless like a sick person, with the sound of a 5-string drum in the distance. So the whole family knew. They blamed each other, then the 2 women hugged each other and cried. The girl lit 3 incense sticks to pray to her late husband, and quat, "Grandpa. Perhaps your nephew is right, because I realize that, if he were to come back to life now and go to war again, I would still be waiting for him." Oh! What a woman and number 39's life! And quat, the girl and number 39's mother sobbed, and quat, "It and number 39's only because of me, it was I who gave you the and quat. Waiting and quat. Blood. How can I be different?" And quat, the father tried to dismiss, and quat, "There must be a girl waiting for him, just like in the old days, in this house she waited for me. Now, I can only hope that the boy returns," and quat, but the boy did not return soon. The rookie enthusiastically killed the enemy in a few battles, and then the star of destiny smiled at him. The good king. When he chose someone, as soon as he saw the young man, he immediately realized that this was an infinitely loyal servant. So, he withdrew the young man, staying close to him day and night, not letting go even a step. While the enemy was fighting, the king needed him to put his muscular chest out to cover the enemy and number 39's bullets, and when the enemy was over, the king needed him even more, to maintain his ultimate authority. He was the perfect and quat, punishment and quat, blade, ready to fall on anyone and number 39's head, according to the king and number 39's orders. For 17 years, the girl has been waiting for that soldier. From a young woman like a budding flower bud, she has become a girl beyond her prime. Her grandmother, then her parents followed each other back to the Buddha realm. Before closing their eyes, they both called their daughter to the bedside and advised, and quote, "Tomorrow if we give birth to a daughter." And quote, the girl quietly cried as her grandmother and parents died, quietly cried when their lover returned or died in battle, and finally, quietly mourned his past lover, because for more than 10 years, he was no longer heard from. Then one afternoon there was the sound of hooves. The horse stopped close to the steps. Stepping down from the saddle was a weathered man who looked at everything from above with eyes as cold as steel. Across his waist he wore the king and number 39's golden belt. It was his reward after he stabbed his old friend in the back. This friend had the courage to stop the king when he ordered a famous general to be beheaded. This man, because of his poor eyesight, offered the king an apple that was eaten by worms. After that bloody party, the king promoted him and allowed him to return home after more than 10 years away. Over the past 10 years, that soldier still hasn't and #39 forgotten his old lover. In the middle of a dusty life, in the middle of a royal court full of poisonous schemes, the good virgin bit her lips and tried to swallow the tears of separation, still not faint but strange, even more like the distant moon calling him back. The girl accidentally took a few steps forward and then stopped. She wondered confusedly, wondering if it was the boy next door who was timid and dared to ask, and quote, "So, are you waiting?" and quote. But when that man called her name in a familiar voice, she cried. Her cry sounded like 1,000 pieces of glass falling, because she had to wait too long, and the person she was waiting for has now turned into a man with a vision. Cold as steel. The neighbors raced to congratulate her. The men who work in the profession of and quote, tapping children and number 39's heads and quote, preach the faithful love of two people in classrooms. So from then on, there were more boys who only dreamed about battle. Dreaming about one day being able to serve a king. As for the little girls, they only wished that they would grow up one day and be able to wait for their lover until the time comes. Without any delay, people held a wedding ceremony for the faithful lovers. The king gave a purple robe to the untimely virgin and the wedding was incredibly solemn. At dusk, next to the wine cup next to the dinner table, the guests widened their eyes as they listened to the groom and number 39's story. After 10 years of serving the king, he was used to keeping his mouth shut. And only rises when alcohol has ivory tusks. But he didn't and #39 know what else to talk about, other than killing. He talked about bloody feasts and feasts during peacetime and passionately described the ways different people died at the hands of his sword. Finally, the king gave him the golden belt. The virgin heard the story of her newlywed husband and she could no longer stand. Groggy, she moved back chamber. Nestled on the bed in the dark, she seemed to smell the foul smell of blood, and on her face seemed to have the cold lips of unjust souls passing by. She got up, trembling, and quickly lit all the peanut oil lamps she found in the room. The flickering red light made her even more scared. Just then, there was a creak at the door. The huge body of the newlywed husband staggered in. Out of habit, he still carried the sword. She looked up, and saw that he had not come in alone. Following immediately behind him was a clear-haired woman, only her hair still had color. dressed in mourning clothes, holding up a bloody shirt and speaking in a strangely monotonous voice, repeating over and over again as if it never stopped, "Give me my husband back. The one who killed you, before you entered your wedding bed. Please return the father to my 5 young children. Please pay." But her husband didn't and 39. Hear anything. He put the sword against the wall, then approached and placed his hand on her chest. At that moment, she saw blood from the shirt in the woman and number 39's hand with her hair falling onto her newlywed husband and number 39's hands. She covered her face and screamed in horror, "Oh, blood! There and number 39's, so much blood." Both hands were red with blood. Her husband looked back in surprise. He still could and 39's see anything, except for the horizontal and vertical scars on his hands. He coaxed, "Oh, courage, Sister Mushy. It and number 39's just because I and number 39's am too nervous. How many days we wait for this moment. Come on, cheer up." He said that, but his mouth was not smiling and his eyes were still cold as steel, just like from the day he returned until now. No one had seen him smile. A virgin covers her face with her hands. She could no longer see the woman with loose hair, but on the face that was approaching her face, she only saw the corners of her mouth tightly pursed and a cold look like the look of death. Feeling scared again, she begged, "Please smile. I beg you. Please smile so I can see the old you. After so many years of waiting, I Don and number 39's want you to be sad." The husband tried his best to smile. It and number 39's been a long time since he did that gesture, so now he doesn't and 39's know how to start a smile. With great difficulty, he remembered that when smiling, people must reveal at least one row of teeth. He curled his lips, revealing 2 strong teeth. But he forgot that when people smile, it is the eyes that smile first, the mouth that smiles second. Even just smiling with the eyes is enough. If the eyes want to smile, the soul must first smile, so trying to smile, he looks more fierce and threatening like a wolf. Immediately, his wife cringed and turned her face inside, sobbing and trying to hold back her tears. The sad husband looked in the mirror and smiled, looked closely at himself, then despaired, "Well, that and number 39's it, a lifetime of waiting. You reject me, do you loathe me?" He slumped over the edge of the bed, then roared like a wounded animal. "Why did you wait for me all your life, then reject me? Why did you make me laugh? Where is the guy with the long hair on his lips from the past? I have become the man who does not smile of the royal court, since this hand dipped in the blood of my friends, at banquet tables full of delicious delicacies. The king sent me to kill all those who disobey his orders with chopsticks. In every gold-encrusted chopstick at the banquet table, there was a delicate blade hidden inside." He sobbed, his shoulders shaking violently. "Oh, my friend." The friend who leaned on each other and number 39's backs to find warmth against the cold wind of the trenches. "Well, that and number 39's it and this is the farewell wedding night, the final reward for the soldier who has served the king for more than half his life." The newlywed husband and number 39's violent sobs shook the whole room. Then, taking his sword in hand, he left the country. Some people said that he came to find the king, intending to force him to pay for the crime that had turned him into a man who could not smile. But the king was able to kill him. First, with one of the gold-encrusted chopsticks at the banquet table. There are also people who say that he has plunged into new killing sprees without worrying about forgetting the days. Only the lost virgin remains in his hometown. She lived silently like a shadow, without once thinking about freeing herself through death. But she could N and #39 get rid of her habit of raising her hands to cover her face whenever there were footsteps or strong noises. One day, the village chief was invited to make a death certificate for her. She died with both hands covering her face, and no matter how much the mortician tried to remove it, a few days later, a short, lanky plant with a sad purple heart shape grew on her grave. Every time a foot steps over or makes a strong impact, the rolling leaves startle and close, falling down like someone and #39's hand covering their face. The flowers and grass growing around are very strange about that. One day, they stopped Mr. Geo. "Hey, Mr. Geo? Here, there is no one as old as you or as young as you. So please tell us why this new species of tree is so ordinary, hanging out on the edge of the grass, easily stepped on by pedestrians. There is nothing special that needs to be preserved, just a little bit and then taken away." He covered his face with his hands, gracefully doing so. As experienced as the wind guy, he still could N and #39 answer. So on a quiet, gentle night, all the flowers and grass were dreaming in a peaceful sleep. The wind guy glided towards the trees. That ordinary person softly asks, "Hey little sister, why do you always cover your face? Is someone here making fun of you? Are you very shy? If not, why do people call me a virgin tree?" After pondering for a moment, the tree gently replied, "That and #39's not true. Even though I die, I and #39 am still a virgin. I block my face 'cause I am scared." Nowadays, people fight with each other even more fiercely, and there are still many blood-soaked banquet tables. So, every collision, every passing step makes me startled. I and #39 am afraid people will send me bloodied hands and the face of an old lover who doesn't and #39 know how to smile. The virgin tree suddenly cowered because she just heard footsteps passing by. Those are the parallel footsteps of a couple walking in the fog. Before carefully closing the leaves, the virgin tree prayed, and quote, "Oh, dear Buddha, pray that these are not the footsteps of people who have to send each other off to that place." End quote. Thank you for joining us for today's fairy tale. We hope these stories bring joy and meaning to your day. If you love our channel, please hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any exciting tales. Wishing you a good night and sweet dreams. See you in the next story.